Now we're live. We are live. Go get your water, motherfucker. I already pressed the
Damn it,
live on
no.
air button on
No,
record, dude.
I'm
You can go
here.
get your water. No.
No.
Go.
No,
Go.
fuck
No,
you.
bro, you got 30
No.
seconds. You got 30 seconds. I'm going to introduce my
Ah,
business. Motherfucking, we're not sponsored by Truly's, but the fucking gas station was out of my beer. Yeah, like what the fuck, man? So I'm drinking that bitch shit. It's called Truly's. Hardcore hangover the next morning. Tastes great today. My boo thing loves it. She gets frisky when she be drinking this. So guys, fuck date rape. Don't be using that. Just bring a 24 pack of Truly's. It costs less. You'll sleep better at night knowing that you didn't just fucking destroy a woman's fucking life, and you're not going to go to prison. So your life is saved both morally and physically because you're not going to be ass raped in jail. Truly's, the one way to really get a woman's heart and her mind speaking. All you got to do is motherfucking listen so you can hear what the fuck she has to say so you can respond appropriately. Truly's. This is a non-advertisement. This is a non-paid advertisement by just your average citizen. Just enjoying that drankety drink. And if you guys are like, oh shit, I'm getting the fuck out of here, I'm just joking around. So eat a joke. What the fuck is going on, everyone? We got over 100 downloads on Spotify. Thank you so much. He brought the whole fucking thing. If you're watching
dude,
the video on YouTube,
dude.
holy shit, that's a lot of Cheetos.
Cheese
Cheese
puffs.
balls, cheese puffs.
Cheese
They're called
balls.
cheese balls. Those aren't the real cheese puffs, sir. Don't.
I'm gonna put them between my legs. My cheese balls between
Yeah,
my
you're gonna
legs.
be eating them.
Mm.
God
See
damn.
if you can hear the crunch.
No, we can't.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, those are great
It's-
headphones. No choo choo.
Yeah, they
But
cleaned it up pretty well.
paid advertisement is by Inhale Bliss. Number one smoke shop in the state of Idaho, bringing you all the heady glass, Chinese glass, best customer service and product knowledge in the industry for the state of Idaho and the great people of potatoes, because that's what we're known for. Unless you're a retarded conspiracy theorist that believes the state of Idaho is fake and everything is a cardboard prop, just like what they did in World War II on one of the beaches near Germany or wherever. It wasn't near Germany. Germany doesn't have beaches. I don't know my geography or much geography for that matter. But with me again tonight is Landon Calcutt, a.k.a. Bon Dosher.
Eating my cheese balls.
You better quit putting that shit in your mouth and speak, motherfucker, because, like, most of the
Mm.
people watching this ain't watching it. They're just listening.
Mm.
All right, we can kind of a little bit hear it now. He's just moaning and
Oh
groaning.
yeah. Cheese balls. These things are addictive. Mm. All
Yeah,
right.
don't.
I'm putting it down. So
So
good though.
So just to break down what we're gonna try and like stay on topic today, and if you know me, that's difficult to do. So like my rantity rant is just bear with it, because we'll get to the point. Sometimes it takes you have to hit G before you can hit the A. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta hit that G spot before you can hit that ass, son. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't. I need you to
No, it
make more
really
sense,
doesn't.
sir.
Like,
Come on now.
because like you're hitting the ass and then you hit the G spot. You know what I'm saying? And then like
So
you're hitting the feelings before you get to the put. Anyways, back to the matter of topic. So we're going to be discussing abortions and family law, how family values are kind of thrown out the fucking window here in the United States. There's more divorces and there's more people having babies than there are people married. And there's more people fighting for custody and then people that just don't even fight for custody because it's so goddamn expensive. And I think it's what, 8 out of 10. I don't know the real stats. I just know from firsthand experience. So we're just going to make up a few numbers. So 8 out of 10 people that separate, moms usually have the most rights, unless the dad is way more well off financially and they can keep pressing court to where the mom can't afford it. And then women do the same thing to men. And then women typically have the upper hand because babies need booby milk, right? And even though there is formula available in the grocery stores, the judge will still say breastfeeding is essential for the first like 6 to 12 months. And so the kid has to stay with mom for that
More than
period of time.
that, you know that these judges are not going to take away kids from the mom.
Mm-mm. They're not. Unless the mom is like beating, raping, molesting. Um,
Oh,
it's
then you have to almost double down and prove it. You can't just be like, you can like look at a man in a courtroom that if she just says, "Oh, he beats me," he's gonna be like, "Okay, well, it's gonna be her kids,"
yeah,
and
that's
there's
how it
nothing
is
you can.
too. That
And then
happened
you
to me.
and then you turn around and go, "Well, no, she's actually the abusive one. She's emotionally and physically abusive. She's better at hiding it." And judges don't take your word for
Nah,
it.
emotional abuse. They don't. They laugh at that shit. That doesn't make sense to them. Like most judges are super old school, and judges are fucking people. Okay, they're not gods. They're not titans. They're not Captain America. They're not fucking Elon Musk. They're not me. They're not Landon. Like they're really smart people that deal with shit all fucking day long and an insane amount of paperwork and crazy decisions. And then they go based off of like previous decisions that judges made. So, like, let's say the state of Idaho. Okay, taking the state of Idaho, which 5 years ago was a really small community in the Treasure Valley. Treasure Valley's from Caldwell to Boise. And there's like 7 cities from Caldwell to Boise. And there's less than 1 million people here in 2014. And now in 2021, there's like over 1 million people. And there was one case where somebody, I don't know the sex, so we'll just say somebody applied for a protection order against somebody else. The judge did not approve it, and then that person later died from the person that they're trying to get a protection order against. Since then, the judges of Idaho, the Treasure Valley, approved 9 out of 10 civil protection orders requested by the requesting party. So like there's loopholes and there's ways that 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 women and men, but we're gonna say women because it happened to me. So I'm gonna use my own life as an example because it's the number one worst case scenario that any person, whether you're a man or a woman, and if you identify as anything else, that's great. That's great. You can do that.
No, it's not.
But there's men and there's women. We have vaginas and we have penises. And until the DNA manipulation can happen to where a man can convert to a woman and have complete ovaries and have the DNA that says you're not going to die while giving birth because you've never experienced this kind of pain before. Once that's proven that they all won't die during birth, I'll call you a woman then legally. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'll agree with that because I
I
believe
still won't.
just a sidestep. Like I totally believe no matter even if men can get the ovary surgeries and produce eggs, the DNA in our body because they'll be the first to ever do it. They're gonna die from the pain. Women have this special gift of enduring the craziest amount of fucking pain of
Spending that much money on medical bills, you really need to just do something else with your life and figure out if it's just a phase or are you having a midlife crisis.
the face thing is a 6 year old saying they're a girl. I played
Yeah.
Barbies with my sister when I was like fucking little. And my family called me a little girl because I was playing with Barbies. But she said I played with G.I. Joe, so it's the same thing. So it makes no difference. One's G.I. Joe's, one's Barbies. So, like,
And
honestly,
I played
what's
with
the
Barbies as a
difference?
kid. I
You know
just
what I'm saying?
it was make believe, dude. That's all it was.
But they called me a little girl. And look at me, I have a super hot girlfriend and I'm a man. And just like, And now today you have people making fun of you and hazing you, calling you a little girl. So then you go to your parents, and your parents might be like really twisted and sick, and they'll say, because you are a girl, if you want to be a girl, you can be a girl. And then they start twisting it and manipulating little children to thinking that, so they just grow up fucked up. There's parents like that. My parents are fucked up. They're fucking really fucking like sociopathic, narcissistic people. And like, I'm not on this podcast to bash them, but I'm just telling you, like, you can have a shitty upbringing and you can still grow up to be semi-successful or super successful, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm not a fucking billionaire yet, so I'm not super successful. I'm semi-successful. You feel what I'm saying? Where was I going? We were talking about little kids, 6-year-old Barbie, G.I. Joe, and now we're at
Emotional abuse,
protection
courtroom.
orders. Yeah, but protection orders. So like my son. Before I get to that, abortions. I just want to state this in the very beginning so I can catch you and leave you on the hook. And if you are one of those people that are like, nope, not even going to turn the podcast off. If you're one of those people that can't even hear it, turn this off, because this is going to be an emotional and a very, very disturbing podcast if you've never heard thoughts like these before. So if you're disturbed in any way, like, you definitely don't want to listen to this podcast episode. So I recommend you turn it off and listen to one of our other episodes, or just stop following us, because we're going to be talking about a lot of different shit in the future, like critical race theory, how it's bad for our future and our kids, and how racist it is. But like, aside from that,
Nah,
ab-
quit being a pussy and listen in and open up your mind.
abortions in the state of Texas, if a woman gets an abortion, the father can sue. Um,
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
well, that's my thoughts though, because like I'm like 32, 33 years old, and the the only way my son's mom will let me see my child is by just throwing money to an attorney in the family courtroom. And I've already done this. I've personally dropped like $20,000. It was a total of 30 grand, but like 20 grand on this to fight for custody of my son. And that went by really quick. Um
I almost
she
think too quick.
It was really quick. It went by in like
Mm,
it was like 4 months and it was gone. So like, I don't
yeah.
know if
Mm.
like I was just really emotional and the attorney didn't like me, but like, when it's dealing with my child and me having to ask for permission and beg to see my kid, and we already have a parenting plan set up, and then she goes and is in contempt of court. Contempt of court, guys and ladies, contempt of court, to go to court, at least in the state of Idaho, if you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to see your kid and have sleepovers with your kid, and they say, nah, you're just not going to get that, that's contempt of court 1, 2, 3. But it was one instance, so they want to count it as one, not three. Because the more there is, they say the judge is going to take that and they're just going to like dwindle it down and dwindle it down. And there has to be 3 complete cases for contempt of court before the judge will fucking stop slapping a motherfucker on the wrist and say, okay, you're losing some parental rights so we can punish you. And like, it takes 6 to 18 months for that to happen per. So you're looking at like 7 years, 1.53, 4.5 years at most of filing contempt of court. On top of that, you're dealing with the most emotional stress you can ever deal with. No, you can't see your kid. And being told no every single time you try and see your kid, try and reach out to talk to your kid, try to schedule a date to see your child. And like, it's and I did some dumb things. I was a stupid beta male when I got this woman pregnant, and like, we weren't in the best situation. We were very poor. And when I say poor, I was making $12,000 a month while she wasn't working. And before she got pregnant, like, I was kind of working and she was kind of working, and then she got pregnant and she just quit working. And then I was the only one working, making like $12,000 a month, I think I said, but $12,000 a year. And that's not in a position you want to be when you have a baby. You're going to be relying way too much on the state and other people's family. and you want to be with the person for at least 2 years, 3 years before you have a kid with them, so you can really see who the fuck they are, and y'all can grow as one unit. Like Landon, bro, you just had your 10-year anniversary, bro. 10 years, and this motherfucker's like 20.
I'm 28.
28. God damn. You've been in a relationship longer than my business been alive.
Oh, really? I thought your business was older.
Like 7 years old, bro.
Damn, dude.
8 years, 7 years, some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm bad with dates.
it's our 10-year dating anniversary, and next month will be our, I believe, 6 year married anniversary.
You see what I'm saying? The motherfucker's been in a beautiful relationship of fighting, love, and just fucking relationship building with their kiddos. And they just had a new kid. Beautiful little baby, bro. Beautiful baby. Holy
Yeah, man.
shit.
She gave him a shower earlier, and he's just sitting there like pouting, and I'm like, he's got the he's got the cutest little pout, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have my face. Like when I ugly cry, dude, I ugly cry. Like it ain't pretty. But he's got like his mom's cheeks, so when he cries, it's all like cute and pouty, and I'm like, ah, you son of a bitch, you're gonna grow up so well.
That's
Everyone's
fucking
gonna
great.
love you when you cry. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, come here." I'm like, "Fuck you" in the background. I'm gonna kick your ass after this.
That's
So
fucking great. And so like
no,
that's when did you guys have your first kiddo? Like cuz you guys been married for 6 7 years? 6
yeah,
years?
almost, yeah, 6 years. So we kind of, so this was a weird like lineup, but it wasn't like we didn't get married because we were having a kid. We just wanted to get married because we were already living with each other, and we're like, you know what, we're doing it all the wrong way, so let's start doing it the right way. And so we decided to get married, and then no shit, the next month, like Justin's like, something's not right. I haven't got my period in like 3 months, and I was like, huh? And she's like, I haven't got my period in 3 months. I was like, the fuck are you gonna tell me?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we
we
went and
tracked that on the app like when anyways, I'm sorry, go for
no, and then I was like, okay. So we go to the doctors and they do an initial test. No, she gets the little pregnancy test thing and negative. They're all negative.
Sounds like the
And I'm like,
COVID
okay,
test.
so right. And she's like, okay, well, you're not pregnant. A month later, she like still hasn't gotten it. And we're like, I something's up. And so we go to the doctors and they had to run like 3 tests, and it finally came out that she was pregnant. Like it just like she wasn't the hormones were just not hitting the test right. And they were like, "Fuck, you're like 4 months along. You need." She's like a stealth baby carrier, and I was just like, I swear to God, until she was 9 months, no one knew she was pregnant. She
Really just
stealth
out of
baby
she just
carried. She didn't look like it. She
it's that
just carried
Latino
it,
background, bro. Like
bro.
they're
And
they're
she
just
looked like
she's got like the Mayan fucking blood in her. Like she was like a fucking trail runner passing messages. If you get pregnant, no
I'm
matter
not.
what, you're running those trails and you're passing this fucking message.
Did you know the Mayans women also did farming, and so they were actually ridiculously strong.
Yeah. And
Um,
short because their
so
altitude, like their lung power up in that altitude was supposed to be like uh
insane.
better than the Broncos. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because they had to absorb more oxygen into their blood
Uh-huh.
in
Yeah.
order to work.
That's
But if
crazy
you
that they
ever,
fucking that whole like culture died off because you would think they could fight up there better than anyone else.
it will, you know what kind of helps?
Disease.
Gunpowder. Yeah, yeah, that pretty much did it. They didn't all die out. They still have dialects. Jocelyn knows some Mexicans that speak the dialect as well, which is the different native group languages, and some of them still speak it.
But I
I
mean
mean,
like
it's
because you still got Egyptians, even though the culture is
um,
the
yeah.
the language, but like Egyptian, you know what I'm saying? Like they're still here and
The civilization died
yeah.
versus the yeah, okay. Well, Jocelyn's bone structure is different. Like, okay, so like do you know the shoulder width of a man? her shoulders actually come out pretty far, like further than most white females.
Okay.
And and so like if you ever like look at her back, she actually had like she could put on like a lot more muscle. And I'm really hoping like my kids get that genetics because they'll be able to put on some meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're gonna my son's gonna be like, I'm gonna like, you can get ripped, so you're gonna get ripped.
That's fucking
So
cool.
getting onto the subject, dude. I pulled out all my data, so I have everything lined up for abortions. So if you want to speak on that matter, we can.
Yeah, you gonna fact check me on the way?
Not really fact check you. I
Oh,
just
okay.
want to. I kind of want to. For me, I want to take you on a journey and the way and the process and thinking that I have gone through to come to the decision and final decision of where I sit on it.
Okay.
Um, and I'm always willing to listen. I love
Mhm.
the for and against, and so I want to hear what you think.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear it. Oh baby. Thank you, titties and a beer. Look at that. What the fuck? Where the hell am I? Oh my god. Um.
Oh, she
So,
popped in view. You're gonna have to blur that.
oh, we ain't blurring that, bitch. Mm-mm.
I'm just playing. She
That's
didn't.
live. We're
Like that's
keeping it.
fine.
Woo! Hooters. So just so the audience understands, so Landon is mostly super Catholic, right?
Yeah.
I'm I'm like I'm just here. I'm living life. We're all human. We are sharing a planet until China conquers all of us. Okay. And when that happens, they're going to kill me because of my thoughts and my core beliefs. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I'm like a honey badger. I'm going to fucking go down fighting. Okay. And if a woman wants to get an abortion, like there's certain points where like if it's 9 months along and she's about to give birth and she's like, fuck that, abort this bitch. I'm kind of against that. But if a woman gets raped and she finds out 3 months later, just like Landon pointed out, I mean, it takes a while for someone to figure out that they're pregnant, right? And they find out 3 months later, and they like, I mean, dude, like guys, we can get ass raped, we can get facial raped, like we can get raped by women, but we're never gonna carry a seed that produces life of another human. And like you have to think, man, if you're a woman, like in the 21st century, it's nothing like a woman living in 1920. And in 1920 is like our mindset was like, bitch, shut the fuck up or I'm gonna beat you. Go do what the fuck you need to do and stop talking back. And that's like that's how they were treated, man. And that's in Afghanistan. That's how they're fucking treated.
The good old days.
The good old days. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Middle East. And if a woman, what is it? If she's not married, she has to wear the what's the facial robes called?
Hijab.
Hijab?
Hijab. Hmm.
Hijab? Ajab or jab?
It's spelled Hijaab, I believe. Hijab, and the J makes a drop sound. So hijab, like
Ajab.
like sobs, like like
The
the
SAAB. The shitty
hmm
car.
so yeah. So say hijab.
Ajab.
Hmm.
Hijab. So a woman has to wear an hijab, if I'm not mistaken, if she's single, right? But if she's married, she doesn't need one. Women in Afghanistan can't own cars, and they can't be out in public without a male relative or multiple female um or some shit like that. It's crazy. So crazy. And that's how it is in the Middle East.
We
Um
treat our women way too nicely over here.
mm.
Um,
Hey, we're all human. I'm cool with being human. We're all human. There are
I
certain
mean,
humans that
when
carry
I mean
babies.
we treat them way too nicely here, I don't mean that we should be misogynistic towards them. I mean we're giving them more rights than we have ourselves. We've given them the farm. we've given them the bricks to the farm, and then we give them half the income that we have.
There's
And
one thing.
then and then the government gives them some too. And then at some point the government's their daddy and we're just the
s-
punks that get punked
Sperm donor.
every single time.
Sperm
Yeah.
donor. We're the sperm donor.
And no, I mean it's sperm donor, but it's a 18-year commitment sperm donor that the
Well,
only thing we're
I
worth is our
personally,
resources that we bring.
yeah, that's what it was. Once she got pregnant, once my son's mom got pregnant, I was I was I was forced out the fucking door, man. Like I've sent text messages and video messages, and I've tried phone calling, and I always phone call just to make sure that I'm not blocked because like she has an iPhone and you can block call her and it'll send straight to voicemail. So I always call, and it'll ring through to voicemail like 7 times. And then I was sending text messages, but then she used that against me in court because I'm texting. And then they'd show the dates of all the text messages. And it's like, he was contacting me way too much to see his son. And even though I told him he could FaceTime his son, I then took the FaceTime away from his son. So his son wouldn't really be that interested because he was just talking on a phone instead of seeing his face. So they were calling, and then my son just stopped wanting to talk to him. So I just said he doesn't want to talk to him anymore. So you have to stop calling because he doesn't want to talk to you. Nah, he said he doesn't want to talk to you today. You know what? Just stop calling. And it was just like that all the fucking time. Like, so fucking so like file paperwork for contempt, and then my attorney charged me for every piece of fucking paper. Like legit, he told me paper costs money. It's 10 cents for every sheet of paper for the court work. Like I got fucked. And the court system, and especially family law attorneys, they care about money. There is so much emotion and anger and fucking intertwined in dealing with somebody's fucking children that a parent is not allowed to see. And then there's people like my kid's mom that'll hold everything against me. Like strangling. Like they'll take screenshots, they'll look at all my social media and stalk me. They'll say he has a girlfriend, so he's not allowed to see his kid. Like weird shit. And they'll use all of that information against me and they'll have it all documented. And that's just what certain people do. Like there's people that are sociopathic, there's people that are narcissistic, and they just they just want control. They just want to be on top. And if you don't listen to them, they're gonna beat you into submission. And unfortunately, I'm a prime example of that. Like I've gotten my ass whooped, and that's why I say like I preach positivity and own your failures so you can drive that towards your success. There's no reason in being negative and angry over things that are happening in your life, because if you build the habit of being reactionary, that everything is happening to you instead of for you, then you're going to be a fucking loser. And you're going to be a loser because other people perceive you as a negative bitch instead of a positive, powerful, successful person. It doesn't matter how much money you have, and money does mean something, and don't get that fucking wrong. Once you hit financial freedom, money, no matter how much or how little you have, as long as you're financially free to pay your bills, have fun, and save money, everything else is a mindset. And that's why it's so strong and important. That's why it's so important to build strong habits of owning your failures so you can own your success. And you have to use that force of failing and losing to really know what it is that you want in life and how you're going to get there. And you start navigating accordingly. But we'll cover that in a future podcast. With this one, the main thing is
So
like, go for it.
I want to jump in and I want to I really I like to call myself like more of like a Socratic Catholic. Okay. And so
Okay.
there's one of my favorite quotes from Socrates, and it's true wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. And I like to really take on the world like that, and and look at each and every little thing, have how little I know about it, like how much more I can learn from it. Um, and I wanted to blend into kind of why the thinking of the way I think about abortion and the reason I came to the conclusion that I came to. Um, and so I want to start us off with this really cool experiment that went on during the 1980s. Have you ever heard of Universe 25?
Universe 25. What universe are we in?
Um, we're in Universe 25, and it's actually almost been proven.
Oh,
All
have you,
right, and what they
wait,
did was there was
can I ask you a question?
absolutely here. Let me hear it.
Have you seen The Matrix?
Of course, I've seen the Matrix.
Does that mean we're the 20? So The Matrix, the first movie takes place in Matrix number 4. It was the
Mhm.
fourth, was it the third or fourth attempt of The Matrix? Like the program running its course.
I think it was like no, it was more. Remember all the TV screens you walked in? Remember when Neo walked in? It was like freaking hundreds.
I remember that, but he also said you're the fourth one or the third one or some shit.
Might
Because
have.
I think those
Like it's
TV
been
screens
too
are just
long
different
since I watched it.
possibilities. I just watched it like last month, so I kind of remember, but not really. But anyway, so we're the 25th version of the Matrix. Go for it.
No, no, no. This probability is probably zeroing us in for what will happen. We're in the sacred timeline right now,
The sacred timeline. What's that mean?
and it won't change. Okay, what I mean is, have you watched Loki at all? On Marvel.
Spoiler alert.
Okay,
Yep.
this is more of like a less of a spoiler, more of a the sacred timeline is in. We're stuck in this timeline, and it's not going to change. Okay,
So there's nothing that
so
can change your timeline. There's no, I can't go out and do something that's going to change the timeline.
not in this parameters. Thing is the parameters.
Wait,
Hold on.
you're cutting out. Yep, you
Can you
cut
hear
out.
me now?
I can, but I can't see you.
I must have bumped it just right. Give me a second.
Oh, you fucking son of a bitch. Motherfucker. There we go. He's
There
live.
we
Handsome Face is back in the video. Tune in on YouTube to watch the show in our pajamas, no makeup, messy hair, and our big sexy noses.
Wait, you're in pajamas?
I'm in pajamas, motherfucker.
Hold
Wearing my
on.
Raw shirt. You can get them over at inhalebliss.net for only. He's
I'm,
getting
I'm in,
naked.
I'm in my
He's
boxers now,
showing
so
us.
technically
He
we're
took
in
the
pajamas,
drawers
boys.
off, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see a good
At,
show, you want to tune in live on YouTube later this evening when we get the upload going. He's
at my nuts, fucking sweaty too.
I look kind of
Oof.
weird.
Uh, Ooh.
Just keep it
Anyways,
raw. This raw
all right.
shirt has a pocket. Go for it. It's got a pocket built in so you can hold your blunts and papers right there with the little zipper out of your
Oh my god.
pockets in the
All right.
shirt.
Universe 25. Let me talk about it.
Uh huh.
All right. So there was an experiment a scientist ran, and he ran it over and over and over again. And it was about mice. Why does it keep doing that? You know what? That's what it is.
While you figure that out, keep talking. I'm going to go pee.
No, really?
I'll
Okay.
be right back,
So
ladies and gentlemen.
mice, right? Universe 25.
Talk about something else. I want to hear this.
All right. Bet.
And your video still ain't fixed?
I'm trying to fix it. All right, here we go. All right. What's up, people? So I'm eating these cheese balls right now, and they're pretty freaking good. They're at Walmart. They're $9.98. Best buy you'll ever make. I'm sorry, but they've got the addictive amount of cheese on them. Oh, mm, I will upsell Walmart every freaking time. So let's hear let's hear more from Socrates. I really like my Socrates quotes. Now he was a philosopher in, I believe, Greece. He was a great philosopher. He was.
I love you too,
Now, some of these quotes that he has, he came up with a methodology. It's called the Socratic Method. It's a form of cooperative, argumentative dialogue between individuals based on
Bro, I
asking
said don't
and
stop it yet.
answering
Don't stop.
questions
Where
to,
are we at? What are you talking
to
about?
stimulate critical thinking and to draw out ideas and underlying presuppositions. Oh, I'm describing to the users the Socratic method from
Oh, okay.
Socrates.
Oh, good.
So it's a form of argumentative dialogue between individuals based on asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to draw ideas and underlying presuppositions. Now, presuppositions means an implicit assumption about the world or background, belief relating to utterance whose truth is taken for granted in discourse. So, meaning, have you stopped eating meat? Presupposition, you had once eaten meat. So,
That was a great dictionary read, bud. Where are we at with Universe 25?
all right, let's get to Universe 25. I'm going to read up a little bit. No, I have the excerpt I want from it, but I really want to get it right so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So, Universe 25, a experiment that was conducted on mice that's going to predict what our utopia or what our world could lead to because of the way we're doing it. Now, it was Calhoun's rodent utopia. And so, what he did was he took around um, 2,000 rats or mice and he gave them a perfect environment. He gave them unlimited food, unlimited water, and he only put four walls up.
What
Basically,
about
he let
drugs?
them be. He didn't
Did
give
he
them
put drugs
drugs.
in there? I can't believe that universe.
Can't believe
There
that
there's
universe.
there's there's this other scientist that gave mice drugs, friends, and a very large, beautiful landscape to play and fuck. And they took drugs occasionally. And that's gonna change elements. So if he's not giving rice methamphetamines and marijuana and morphine, then and cocaine or psychedelics, and I mean that's what we have here. So you can't use mice that don't have the same shit in their equation.
Mm,
You feel what
mm,
I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Gotta have drugs. Gotta have sharks. I'm afraid of alligators. Throw some black widows up in there. See what happens.
All right. So the mice would meet, mate, breed in large quantities.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they would a leveling off would occur, and after that, every single time the experiment was ran, the rodents would develop either a hostile and cliquish or passive antisocial behavior, and the population would trail off to extinction. Now, a couple specifics about that. Um, the behaviors of between males of high and low status became more pronounced. So, like, there was alpha males and lower males that just couldn't take it, and the pecking order found themselves spurned from females and withdrew from mating altogether. Now, we can almost see that in our society right now. There's a lot of males who just they're withdrawing from the mating pool. They're just saying, I can't make it. There's nothing I can do to attract a female, and they recede. And you're
By
seeing all
receding, you mean they are identifying as women and only fucking men.
no. I mean, they're just being single forever, and they're saying the the court system's rigged against me. If I have sex with a female and get it pregnant, I'm gonna get fucked and completely wrecked. Women are absolute trash. I can try to date one, but they'll just cheat on me for the next guy. I'd
Well,
rather focus on myself. And
there,
that's what a lot of males are doing.
well, there's nothing wrong with focusing on yourself, but
No, no, there's nothing wrong, but when you do it in mass, when there's an en masse of males doing that. The consequences are much bigger.
So, and that brings me to my main point that family values are fucked in this country. Like, I I was going to Full Sail University, and the big reason I dropped out. One of the reasons it's not the big reason, but one of the reasons I dropped out is there was a mom in the psychology class, and she. This is just one of the reasons because it's just one of the peers that I had to go to school with that like so don't judge me on it. It's just like I was already learning what I was learning there, and I already knew everything that they were teaching, not on like the scientific level, but I knew enough to where like it's all the basic shit that I was already learning, that I already learned, and I'm not gonna pay the extreme amount of money to learn shit that I already know. And it's basic education, which is a higher degree of education at Full Sail. It's a great university if you're young and you don't know the things that I know on how to treat yourself, how to treat others, how to um what is it, schedule your life in your daily events and how to think, then go to Full Sail. It's a great college if they have a course that you're after, or a degree that you're after. But I think you shouldn't go to college for degrees. I think you should go to college for what it is you love and you're passionate about, because ultimately in America, that's that's how you're gonna make it, is with the passion and drive, because that's what people want to see. And that's if if you're doing something you love every day, you will never work a day in your life. You'll always be having fun. You're going to make a lot of friends doing it, and you're going to make money at the same time. So it's like a win-win-win. And then your social media following is going to be crazy because you're passionate about it. And then you're going to have even more friends. And then you're going to have those dopamine fucking rushes every time your fucking videos get like 25,000 views. You're going to be like, fuck yeah. Like my Instagram videos at like 20, almost 10,000 views now. Like fucking crazy. I got over 300 likes. It's the first time this ever happened. And it was some stupid video I didn't even try really hard on. It was just something I did. Go Kanye. Your new song's Gangster. It fucking flushed really good with it. So I love it. I haven't heard your album yet though. I just seen it. I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. All right, it's a good beat. But anyways, back to point is there's not enough family values in America. Like parents aren't even teaching their children as far as when I was growing up. And even today, there's this woman who was asking a psychology teacher saying my 3-year-old is depressed and thinks that she's a boy and I don't know what to do. And it's like, you fucking tell them, no, you're a girl. And there's no way a 3-year-old is depressed. Like, if the 3-year-old's depressed, there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? And like,
You're probably abusing that fucking child. It's a 3-year-old child.
I I can only go on the information I was told, and I'm not gonna say like, and it wasn't even what I was told. It was like what I was listening to in the pre-class on the fucking computer. Like she's talking with like 8 of us in the fucking class with the fucking one of the fucking 20 and it's just like, dude, I can't go to school with people that are this stupid. If you're that dumb
No,
and
I'll
you're
fucking
going to
say it.
college,
She's probably giving that child vegan fucking chicken nuggets and not the real ones. Okay. Step one, give the kid the fucking real chicken nuggets. Step two,
it's all microwave food, right? Uh but like,
if the kid says he's chocolate, if the kid said he's, or if the kid said she was a he, you step back and realize that that kid doesn't even know what flavor of ice cream that child likes yet, and you realize the deeper implications of switching genders is probably consequential for later in life.
yep.
Now, if this person's 18 plus and they want to be a different sex, that's a different story. But we're talking about a child whose development hasn't even started yet.
It hasn't even
I mean,
started.
it's not even started. And
No
you're like,
estrogen, no testosterone, no real spark of creativity when it comes to their personal identity. Right now it's all about their home and who their parents are and their brothers and sisters if there are any. But like
that's their
that's
first world. And if you screw up their first world, when they get out into the real world, they'll be fucked up. And that's just it. If you screw up their first world, they won't understand the real world because
Like
the real world's even crazier.
I didn't even know who I was when I was 14. Like I people tried picking on me when I was fucking high school, middle school, and I beat up one of the I stood up to one of the bullies. I didn't even beat him up. I stood up to him, and I still got sent to the fucking principal's office. And this guy was gonna beat me up. He was intimidating me with getting my bubble, my personal space, or what people hear nowadays is he was inside my social distance. And like it's just, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't
So
matter if it's
Universe 25 actually I think only particularly applies to liberals and liberal ruled places.
oh yeah, no
Hmm.
drugs. I
Yeah.
think Portland,
Yeah.
Oregon is really liberal and they legalized everything and there's no
The
drugs in that
so
mice trap.
in this experiment, the infant mortality rate um, topped 90% because the female mice were killing their youth, their babies.
Hmm.
So with male mice abandoning their traditional roles in Universe 25, the females were left to fend for their nests. Consequently, many females adopted more aggressive forms of behavior, which would spill over into violence towards their young. Others would refrain from motherly duties altogether, banishing their unraised litters and withdrawing from further mating, resulting in serious
So
consequences.
how are they correlating this with our current like social?
No, I am. I
Oh,
am.
you are. But there's no
Yeah, okay.
drugs in that. So how are you correlating that with
Okay,
America?
but that's not the consistency. I like that's not
So,
the commonality that I'm
so
going
the
off.
commonality. So if without hearing the end, are you saying because there was so much of a population of the mice that they just stopped and then died off?
No, there was so much population of the mice that they thought it was too good that they were getting unlimited resources, and then they had males start defending the resources that were already unlimited. And so for no reason other than defending the damn resources, and then in their minds, they were creating all the problems. They created the problems. They made an unlimited resource to a limited resource. The males forgot who they were. When the males forgot who they were, the females completely forgot who the fuck they were and started killing their children. And when that happens, it's a collapse, and that's why they utter collapse. You could argue that in the United States, we have basically unlimited resources. At our fingertips, we really do have unlimited resources. And we seem to be just fucking creating our own problems. The most powerful nation in the world creates its own fucking problems
Well, the
because
United
we're bored.
States, well, it's not that we're bored, it's that the intelligence level of the common people, just your average citizen, isn't
But why
it's
is
it's
that?
it's well, there's several reasons. So it starts with their parents, right? So at least me and
Problems.
my peers growing up with, when I was younger, I would ask my parents questions about politics and finances, and they would tell me, "You're not old enough for that. Don't worry about that." And then they would give me other excuses. And then as I get older, they would say they would just give me like the most like stupid, retarded, like answers, like, "Oh, he's a fucking asshole," or "He's a fucking idiot." And so it goes down to the baby boom population, which I believe is my parents, or the generation right after that. They they they
They
just
use the TV to raise us. They use the
they
TV.
use the
That's literally it.
motherfucking TV to raise us because they didn't give us attention. They didn't give us any attention. I was given more attention on the computer and on the television. Like that's like my parents didn't give me any information on anything. And I raised myself. I was also raised in prison. And so from the ages of I think it was like 14 or 15 till I was 18, I spent those entire years incarcerated. And then from the ages of I think 11 or 12, I was in and out of juvenile detention. And so like from the ages of 11 or 12 till 18, I was incarcerated most of my teenage years. And even in prison, like the guards didn't, like, we had no newspaper. We were allowed to read books, and my parents seldomly came and visited, and my family seldomly came and visited, and I never got, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's zero parenting. When my older brother was locked up, and my parents, he defended himself in middle school. He defended somebody else in middle school. Someone was picking on this kid, and he beat up the bully for the kid, and he ended up dislocating the kid's shoulder in the process. And my parents said, take him away from me, and signed away their parental rights. And then because she was tired of paying child support to the foster parent, she finally won in court and got him back, even though he didn't want to come back. And so like that's how fucked up everything is. It's like, I don't want to see I'm paying $500 a month in fucking child support for my baby boy that I don't even get to see. And like, Zay, if you're watching this podcast, or if you're listening to this podcast, man, like, I've tried everything, buddy. Like, I've tried everything. I love you a lot. I do. I love you so much, man. More than I can ever express, man. Buddy,
Keep
I
coming,
love
dude.
you. Shush, shush, shush. I love you. Okay. And I tried so much. But if you're older or if you're younger, you'll understand when you get older. You can't give everything away for something that you'll never get. And is what I mean by that, buddy, is I almost went bankrupt. And I hope you're older when you're watching this. I don't want you to watch this when you're younger, man. So like, I just hope, but like, I've reached out and I've tried everything I can. But anyway, so like, let's just assume you're older, okay? I'm sorry, but like, this is really, I'm live, and this is gonna be viewed by like hundreds of people. So like, it's kind of fucking weird. But like, anyways, putting that aside, you can't give everything away for something that you can't have. And I've done everything I possibly can to have you in my life and to see you. And there's people that that just say no. And unfortunately, we live in a society to where you have to go to court and you have to pay tens of thousands of dollars and continuously every several months in order to fight for custody and to fight for rights. And there's always fighting, and there's always confrontation, at least in my life, with your mom. And so it's been a long time. And so my message is like, it's I've done everything that I can, and I almost lost my entire business to try and get custody to see you, and to try and get my rights to see you. But I couldn't. I can't. And it wasn't possible. And I almost went bankrupt, and I almost lost my business. And if I would have lost my business, I would have still never been able to see you. And I'd still be in the same position I am now, except I would have been very angry, and I probably would have done something stupid with that anger. And so I had to make a choice of, that's my limit. I can't fight anymore. So I just hope that when you're older, that you'll be able to reach out to me, because you have your own cell phone and social media accounts to be able to reach out to me, and then we can communicate that way. Um, but that's the hopes and prayers. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no way to know that that can ever happen. But there's a lot of parents that were in the same exact situation that I'm in, both male and female. And so I'm not singling women out. There's shitty men and there's shitty women. Look at Joe Biden. He's trying to tell Governor Brad Little that we're going to be housing unvetted Afghan refugees in the state of Idaho. He came here to the state of Idaho today and demanded that we house Afghan refugees here that help the American forces fight the Taliban in Afghanistan and the Al Qaeda in Afghanistan. And just for everyone listening, like, the Afghans that truly did help the American soldiers fight, like, they gave their lives, they sacrificed so much, they went through prejudice, and they went through fear, and they went through courage and honor. And those people that helped the American soldiers on the ground, not the American government, the American soldiers, our brothers and sisters fighting in arms on the front lines of Afghanistan, which is one of the most dangerous territories that anyone can ever be deployed to. I give you respect and I give you honor for what you did. The amount of courage, sacrifice, and dedication that you did against the people of your own nation to help the American soldiers and the CIA that were out there sacrificing their lives to fight for a cause that they felt was worth it. So, in order for you to come to the United States, I stand with my governor, and this is just an American citizen, just your average citizen, saying, I stand with my governor when I say you need to be vetted to prove that you're honest and you are who you say you are. Because anyone from Afghanistan can say they helped the American soldiers and the CIA. But are you being honest? And we all know there's some dishonest lying motherfuckers out there. So it's really important. We don't want liars and we don't want people that didn't put in the work to come to our country based off of lies and deceit. We want honest people with integrity. So that's just my part on that. But that goes back to like shitty parents that take the fucking parents away from their kids. You know what I'm saying? And then other people
Uh,
that fight to give their kids a better life. And
Let me
that's
jump us back on track real quick. So typically, conservatives, we do a better job at reproducing and having families and being more traditional. Um, our family structures tend to be stronger. I'm not saying tended. It's not every single one, but for the most part, and it shows up in the polls as well. That's why we're called the silent majority. Even though some of our kids go off to college and get, you know, completely brainwashed when they get through college, for the
yeah, but
most part,
you don't need to go to college.
yeah, I mean, we really don't.
That that
But
was that was the boomer generation to make a lot of fucking money. That's all that was.
so put it this way, the conservatives just we tend to do better because our family units are stronger. While on the liberal side, you tend to have one child and the rest are aborted.
No. I'm
And
gonna
that,
expand on that because like there's four siblings. We got four siblings, and my parents are super liberal, and it was a shitty fucking upbringing. And then my girlfriend, she's Catholic also, and her family's Catholic, and they had a fuck ton of kids. They're like a fucking rabbits with the amount of kids. They both had adopted children, and then they're like blood children, and they're all really fucking like successful, cool people, and like they might not be. They're on all tiers. One of them's like a fucking millennial, social media fucking mega star, and then one's in the military, and then like, and then it goes down to like middle class. You know what I'm saying? But like, successful is like they're all happy, and they all want a family, and they all want's best for their family, which is the core unit of like their family and the family that they want to create and the family that they have created, and they're all really tight and like. So I just wanted to expand on that. That like, I agree with your prejudice.
yeah, I mean, what I see is I see when you put something. Think about this: if I put God is in between me and my wife, and that's a good buffer to have,
Yeah,
and that's
that's what
it's
she's
a it.
saying.
I mean, fucking terrible. I'm being serious. And when we have God between us, we can actually focus on that. Really, dude. This ain't like a God with like 10 titties. All right, this ain't
I
the
mean, that
Hindu
God
God of
knows how to hit that
fertility.
motherfucking spot. You know, that's why he's called God, bro. Cause she'd be like, oh, hitting them
Anyways,
nuts.
I think everyone believes that like God came down and like Zeus and had sex with Mary. I bet you that's what people think that happened. That's not how it happens.
Nah, he just injected that bitch. Those aliens that we call God, they don't have dicks. They just come down and they're like, here
All
you
right,
go.
back to the because we have God between us, we are
Yeah,
allowed to
Hercules.
we could basically ask for him for strength, for understanding, for patience. And that's really what it comes down to. When we do that with each other, and you have a better day. And we're able to raise our children in a way with strength, patience, and understanding. And when I have a bad day, I yell at my daughter Emlyn, feel bad about it. That's not the way I want to be raising my child.
Don't
That's not the
yell.
way.
No one
Mm,
likes to be yelled at.
uh, she doesn't listen
Well,
sometimes.
dude,
Anyways,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if
but
you want to have little
but
coaches, you know what I'm saying?
but the more patience I have for her and praying and that methodology helps me raise her better.
Wait, and
And
anyone that's watching is like, oh, he yells at his kid. You know how many motherfucking parents I watch in the grocery store? Like the way that I raised my son, he would be throwing a fucking tantrum, screaming and yelling because he wants to go see his mom or because he wants that Lego set. But it's my fault because he didn't get his fucking nap before we left. And that's my fault. But regardless, we were there and I just hold him in the store. And I just hold him until he's done crying because he would be freaking out. So we'd be sitting on the ground because he was one of those kids that like always wanted to like slam his head on the ground when he'd always want to fall down. And to prevent that on that hard ass motherfucking floor, I'd hold him. And this one time at Fred Meyer's, a fucking staff came up, probably thought I was abducting this little kid. He was like, "Is everything okay here?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. He is throwing a tantrum. Can't you see?" And he's like, "Is his mom here?" He's screaming for his mom. And I'm like, "Man, you need to get the fuck out of here right now. You're not making this fucking weird for me at all." It was weird, bad. But like that shit would eventually come, you know what I'm saying? But like that was just for all of you parents out there, shit can be
yeah,
fucking hard sometimes. And don't you judge a
wow,
motherfucker by how they parent.
I'm judging because that's not the way you're supposed to handle that situation. You're supposed to ignore the fuck out of that little kid, and when he realizes that you don't really
No,
care the way he's
no.
behaving like that, he'll
Biting,
stop doing it.
scratching. You know what? You're gonna tell me, but you yell at your daughter. Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
Yep.
mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, yell at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, yell at her. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
What are you
I'm
gonna do
gonna do shit. I live here. You live out there. I
about it?
still want to. If you were me
Yeah.
being a
Anyways,
stranger in the household, I'd be like, "What are you doing?" You know he's gonna get mad, and she'd stop because I'd be a
so
stranger in the household. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I would do
cons-
about it if I was there.
conservatives, their values tend to be stronger because they rely on morals. Those morals are backed up by a God, a all merciful God, and so therefore we tend to raise our children better. Next, 10-2. That doesn't mean 100%. That means 90%. And then there's 10% shitbags still.
I've heard some crazy stories, and like
Yeah,
religious
like,
people don't necessarily raise their kids better than like non-religious people. I'm just gonna take that stance, and like I'm non-religious, and I raised my kiddo fucking better during the times that I had him than I, you know what I'm saying, than like a lot
that's
of other
that's
people.
what you think, but all I heard was he was kicking and screaming in this.
That
I'm
was
just
just one
playing.
example to fucking have your back against other
Hey,
fucking
all right.
assholes that are gonna be listening.
I'm just they can come at
See,
me.
I have this
They can come.
motherfucker's back, and he goes and kicks me in the dick. That's
Oh
just how
yeah,
life works. You know what I'm saying?
get dick in your pajamas. Get dick kicked. Anyways, let's move on to the second
They're
part of
loose,
this.
bro. You'll hit the balls. Like these are some loose jammies.
Well,
They're Lucky Brand jammies. They're really comfy.
there's this second part that I'm really, really, really fucking pissed at. And this is because abortion
Oh,
impacts
thank
African
you,
Americans at a higher rate.
thank you.
Well, damn. Well,
Mm.
give me. Where's my fucking plate?
How do you raise your kid, bitch?
Where's my fucking plate, you asshole?
You're in
Where's my
Georgia,
Where's my truly at?
motherfucker. If you was out here in Nampa, Idaho, not Boise, I'm in Nampa. You'd be scarfing like a king as well. You
Okay,
guys got to
here
come
we
out
go.
and visit. You guys really have to come out and visit.
I know, man. We gotta hop on a train though. We want to take the train there.
Yeah, don't take the plane. They're forcing shots come October.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm
Anyways,
over it.
according to a report, black women make up 14% of the childbearing population, yet 36% of all abortions were obtained by black women at a ratio of 474 abortions per 1,000 live births. Black women have the
Well,
highest ratio of any group in the country.
that's because of the racism from when Biden has first started being in office. Planned Parenthoods is mostly in like ethnic neighborhoods. Planned Parenthoods aren't really in white neighborhoods. They're always usually in ghettos.
Well, yeah, you're always go to your customer. That's why you think you see a McDonald's near an African American population is because they go to their customers, just like Planned Parenthood does.
It's really fucked up. It's
So
really fucked up.
19 million black babies have been aborted since the decision in 1973, Roe versus Wade.
And
Now, I'm gonna,
when did Biden get in office? In the 70s?
yeah, in the 70s, he
And
was a
then
70s guy.
when
Crime
did he
bill,
start pushing the crime bill? Was that 74 or
crime bill.
78?
Yeah, it was like 74, I think. So it all comes together. And this is from USA Today, by the way. For those identifying historical racial roots should be removed from public view because of their evil histories. Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger must join the list in promoting birth control. She advanced controversial Negro Project, wrote in an autobiography speaking to a Ku Klux Klan group, and advocated for eugenics approach. For
What's
the
eugenics mean?
graduates, mm, no, this explains you kind of explains eugenics. The gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extinction of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization. We're just eugenics your population. That's all we're doing. We just gotta groom it for the finest stock. Uh, Sanger Planned Parenthood mission urged Sanger urged to get him the reluctance to hire a full Negro physician, as the colored Negroes can get closer to their own members and more or less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstition, and doubt.
So
Yeah.
you're reading all that from USA Today? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So
What
some
what it's a what it's about is basically whatever we started off at when it came to abortions. The only thing they really care about, and even till today, and I'll prove it, even till today, they only care about culling the black population. That's all it's really been used for. You don't see a Planned Parenthood in the nice white neighborhoods. You see it in the African American population. And that's what it seems to be used for. Now,
You know
the
what's
more
crazy? Hold on, I just want to say this. So for anyone else that's listening, so next time there's a big fucking riot, right? So let's say Flint, fucking Michigan, right? So Flint, Michigan was that's when the water supply got destroyed, and the government there knew that the water supply got destroyed. Is what happened was they switched from a certain, I think they switched from like river water to somewhere else, or somewhere else to
the
somewhere
more
else,
acidic, and it ate the pipes.
and it ate
The
the
more
pipes, and the
acidic,
pipes dispersed lead,
lead.
iron, what's the other one? Rust. It dispersed a fuck ton of toxic, harmful minerals. So, Flint, Michigan is still fucked. People cannot shower, they can't drink water, they can't cook food, and they can't wash their clothes. The local government swapped out their water supply immediately and then told the general pop it's okay. They didn't say anything. They didn't declare a state of emergency. This is a state, city run government that did not notify the people of poison, legitimate poison in their water supply. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're human. Babies are born inside water. They are growing inside water, inside the uterus. I almost said clitoris. Babies don't grow in the clitoris. Emotions grow in the clitoris. Babies are born in the uterus. We need water. We're like, what, 80% water? You have to drink water. If you don't drink water for 3 days, you die, motherfucker. So there's a big riot in Flint, Michigan, and they started burning down people's businesses, and they didn't really burn down a whole lot of police precincts or government buildings. It was mainly people's businesses and riots in the streets. And so my thing is, if there's a big motherfucking riot, I would recommend you guys go. And I'm not saying like it's just like instead of
Address
attacking
the
other
right
people's
people. Address
businesses
the right people.
address the right people, because I can't tell you to go and incite things and do all that kind of shit, because that's not what I'm here to do. But I
If
also
you have
don't
a
want to say
problem, go to the government building. If you have a problem with the
I
police,
was
go
gonna
to
say
the
Planned
police
Parenthood.
building. If
No,
you
don't do
get
that.
a problem with Planned Parenthood, go to Planned Parenthood.
The police
Stop
are
going.
defunded. Don't burn their shit down. They got good jobs.
Put it
We
this
need
way:
them. We need the
if you're black,
police.
if your Black Lives Matter, don't march into the black business neighborhoods and burn down all the black businesses. That doesn't make damn sense.
It really doesn't.
I, I would have been like, okay, if you went in the white neighborhoods and found the white businesses and you're like, let's burn this fucking down, I'd been like, makes sense. But don't burn down the black neighborhood businesses. That's just fucking retarded.
A little bit.
You're just like
Because
shooting
Black
yourself in the
Lives
foot.
Matter. It
They
does.
do. And now we're into, can you please burn down the right fucking businesses?
Planned Parenthood.
Or hear me out. Don't do it. Don't do that dumb shit. Fucking hold a real civil rights rally that means something.
Like Martin Luther
And
King
don't loot
or
things.
Gandhi.
You're gonna get through to more people with love. All right, and this is still continuing that, and I want to. This is the last bit for this section. And in the spirit of racism continues today, as more than 300 former employees that are current at Planned Parenthood said in a recent open letter, noting a toxic environment. Planned Parenthood was founded by a racist white woman. This is part of the history that cannot be changed. They observed, writing, that pattern of systemic racism, pay inequality, and lack of upward mobility for black staff continues. All right. So let's get into my issue that it's basically Nazi Germany reborn.
What, right now?
Oh yeah, we're totally in Nazi Germany reborn, and this is it, right? If you remember all the stuff they were doing on the Jews, dog,
I wasn't
like
alive back then.
get ready for this piecemeal, okay? So Trump had put in a group of people that would do like ethics, kind of like an ethics board, and this ethics board would approve the purchase of like fetal tissues and the way they were used and the way they were put together. Well, it's been completely banned. Like as soon as Biden got in office, he wiped out this board that basically put ethics behind all the way fetal tissue was gathered. And so there was a flaming freaking there's a Freedom of Information Act put out on the University of Pittsburgh. The federal government funded the University of Pittsburgh organ harvesting program, and according to Judicial Watch, the University of Pittsburgh received 3.2 million grant from NIH to harvest organs of 6 weeks to 46-week-old babies. Right, and the information comes from a 252-page Freedom of Information Act. Now, Pitt's application specified that it sought to develop a pipeline to the acquisition, quality control, and distribution of human, way too long of a word, samples throughout development, 6 to 42 weeks in gestation. That's insane.
What's that mean?
Past 42 weeks is considered post-term or overdue. So like you're supposed to give birth at 42 weeks. So that means they would get babies at like easily viable. Like this baby is like, if it fell out of the damn womb that minute.
Is that better? I'm sorry. Someone said it's quiet. Is that better? Keep going. So babies are due.
Yeah.
When?
So babies are due at 42 weeks, and they're actually considered post-term or overdue at 42 weeks. So imagine the University of Pittsburgh is wanting to get fetuses, and I don't want. Let's stop calling them fetuses. I'm not. So words matter, right? I'm not going to keep doing this little like fetuses. If that makes you feel better to say the word fetus instead of baby, because you don't want to imagine a baby being murdered before it's supposed to be murdered, all right, then let's do that. If you got a 46-year-old week baby and you pull it out of a womb and it's kicking and screaming, and then you start slicing it apart for its organs and start experimenting on it.
And that's really what they do now. Like that's what
Yes,
Donald Trump is
that's
trying
what.
to stop. Like the
Yes,
industry, the Planned Parent, the amount of money. There was those people that went into Planned Parenthood behaving like buyers that filmed it undercover without Planned Parenthood permission, got sued, and they lost in court, and they lost a they're sued for 1,000 lifetimes the amount of money that they owe Planned Parenthood for the information that they found, and and it's gross. It is gross. The whole process of that business model is fucking disgusting. And if you support Planned Parenthood, like you're you're like abortions are one thing, man. It really is. Like if whatever your situation is, that's a hard fucking thing to try and do, and you live with that for the rest of your fucking life. But
psychologically damaging. You know, it's
for
not. It's not an easy road. I mean, if you
for
think about
someone
all the psychological damage that women go through, you've really got to reconsider it.
well, men also, but women, yes, because there's a couple things that you and I talked about in the past that I really want to bring up, especially right now since I got on topic. But the big thing that really fucking irks me is when a motherfucking good ass salesperson is acting like your fucking sympathy partner, biggest, bestest motherfucking friend, and they're coaching you on getting a motherfucking abortion mainly because you're black, Mexican, or Asian, or fucking Haitian, or what the fuck ever. You're not white. And so they're fucking promoting and pushing for you to get a fucking abortion so they can make 30, 40, $80,000. One, while you get no money. Two, while you lose that precious life. And three, you have to live with that shit for the rest of your fucking life. And four, that may or may not program your body to abort shit in the future and or install that gene into your future children that you do, if you do have, to abort children naturally because you aborted a child. And everything that we do to our bodies programs your bodies to do stuff. I'm afraid of black widows. I'm afraid of alligators. I'm pretty damn sure that's naturally going to make my children afraid of that shit. I don't like spiders. They're teeny, they're tiny, they're not human, and they fucking bite you. And you can die.
Mm.
Or your fucking arm will melt off when it fucking bites you. Like, what are you going to do? A snake? I've never really encountered a dangerous snake, so I can't say I'm too afraid of them. But the same shit. Like, they don't make me fucking wither and crawl, but like, there's a black widow in my store the other night. What the fuck? It was bigger than a quarter, motherfucker. It was bigger than a fucking 50-cent piece. It was fucking huge. Oh, all the way up. You can't hear the other guy. I hate snakes. I
No,
can do
like they can't
spiders
hear
though.
me right. They can't hear me right now, dude.
I can hear you, but I. Hey, Lil J or Lil Liz, Lidge. Hi, how are you? You guys are beautiful. It's Jill. Oh, hi, Jill. Are you? Can you hear Landon? Are you having issues hearing Landon? You're the
What's up
gentleman.
with?
It's Doomsday Podcast. Remember, I live in Nampa. Yes, ma'am, I do. Yes, ma'am, I do. Let me see if I can turn this up. Maybe. Does that help? Does that help at all?
I mean, I'm at 69%. I can't change
Well,
that.
no, you're good. I think it's on my end because I may or may not have had this turned down a little bit. So you just keep talking. And then there's a black window on my mailbox today. My wife almost took her ankle running.
All right, so let's. For me,
That's
damn
fuck
it,
black widows,
damn
bro.
it,
They're scary as
damn
fuck.
it, freaking. There we go. All right, come on, come back. All right, there we go. All right, this is what I see. This is what I see. I see a moral dilemma and a slippery slope that leads to even worse shit. Right? The dilemma of, okay, so I'll take if you asked me to get to the drawing board and said, I need you to give me a little bit on Roe versus Wade. You said, let's do that. Let's think about an in between whatever the fuck this is and whatever the fuck that is. Right? If you said, hey, um, if a father rapes a daughter, can the daughter get an abortion? I'll be like, you know what? Rapes. Fuck it. Let's do it. Abortion. I'll get to heaven and I'll take that hit. Whatever I got to do to find some in between, right? The mother's gonna die. I'm gonna let the mother decide. Abortion, let that happen. But we're really talking about 1% of the cases here. When it comes to these extreme issues, these 1% cases are usually meant to argue for the other 99%. And I think that's really my problem with it. Is the other 99%, maybe 30% are really financial issues, but for the most part, these people can actually raise these children, and it benefits the economy as well. When people are having children, the economy does better. When the economy does better, people have more food to raise their children with, and it keeps tumbling from there. And as long as we stick together and take care of each other in a community, we're doing a lot better. But this is the other side. This is what we're actually experiencing. This is what we're actually experiencing. In that report, Pittsburgh's plan to help full-term pregnant women give birth, and after the mother delivered the baby, they would surgically remove the organs of the baby for harvest. And Pittsburgh admitted to the news media today that ischemia, the loss of blood supply, does not happen until after they cut the kidneys out of an aborted baby. So the baby's
Landon, I'm sorry. The viewers that are watching live right now on Podbean, they can't
No
hear
way.
you talk. They can only hear me talk. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pause the podcast. Thank you guys so much, because like I've been doing this. I had no idea y'all couldn't hear him talk. So I appreciate y'all. So here's Landon, go to my Podbean and I'm gonna invite you to the conversation. Go to podbean.com.
Podbeam.com.
Here, I'm gonna type it in chat.
Yeah, I got it.
Just copy paste. They're like, yeah, we can't hear the other guy you're conversating with, but your cereal sounds good.
Fuck, dude, I've talked way too much. I don't even want to talk again. Is it at least recording for like Spotify?
Yeah, everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I thought I was doing it right. But it's all a learning
Thank
process. I appreciate it.
God.
Everyone. Thank you guys so
All right,
much.
I'm here. I'm just gonna sign up.
Appreciate you, darling.
Import existing podcast or create new podcast?
No, you just want to watch my show. Go to Just Your Average Citizen, and then we'll get you in the conversation so everyone else live can hear.
Trying to get out of here. All channels. There we go. Just Your Average Citizen.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the like. Thank you. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm not seeing it. Is there space between Just Your Average Citizen?
Here.
Got it. You got 0 followers on this.
I
got it, dude.
Wait, are you on the Spotify, or I just sent you the link? Click on the link.
Okay.
Hell yeah, same here. We're gonna have this podcast up on YouTube as well as on Spotify. So since you guys couldn't hear Landon, you can always jump on. Check those out. Sorry about that. You guys taught me something today, so I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
It's not letting me go to the live. I mean, no, I can. I don't see myself on Just Your Average Citizen. I can.
No. All you have to do. Did you click on the link?
Yeah, I clicked on the link.
So click on the link.
I did. I'm at your pitch.
And then you'll see that we're live.
Yeah, I see that you're live.
Okay. And then click on the live and you can join the discussion. or the chat.
Okay. I gotta download the freaking app chat. I have to download this on my phone. In order to interact with the community, I have to download it on my phone.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do on Podbeans?
Well, for this podcast, we're just gonna keep it going how we're going. But the next podcast, we'll get it done right. So Mr. Landon and all my future guests, they'll be able to join in live with us. So you guys that are watching live can hear it, okay? So I apologize for our previous listeners and our current listeners that were also our previous listeners. Thank you so much for letting me know now so we can fix it for the future. I
Yeah, dude.
appreciate
Come on
that. All right, so where were you in the reading?
Okay, so I was basically at the part where so they would harvest 46-year-old, 42 to 46-year-old babies, and it's an infanticide. They murdered the baby, because the way they let the baby die is they would cut the baby's kidney out and wait for it to bleed out, and that's what they would consider an abortion, and which is not. The baby's laying on the table screaming and crying, and you're sliding a knife through it and taking out its organs. That's not a fucking abortion. That's murder. And the problem is the slippery slope of morals that we put these doctors in.
It's
They
not
get
morals, it's
so
law. It's law and money.
it's not even
It's
that. They go and do these abortions so much that they completely forget that these are living human beings. And this slippery slope they started on was the abortions and the words that they changed to make it sound like if they call it a fetus instead of calling it a baby, like a 3-week-old baby inside the womb. Okay, fine. Call it a fetus, right? And they call it a fetus, and then you're like, okay, it's a 3-week-old fetus. Well, it's just a clump of cells. And then it's just a clump of cells. And then we get to the point to where we got 42-year-old weak babies, fetuses. They're no longer a clump of cells. And as long as they get cut open and their organs ripped out, as long as we don't hear about it on the Saturday on the news, we're fine. We don't hear about that. We only hear about how racist, sexist conservatives are trying to take away our rights. But they
But it
don't
goes
see
back to
the
money. It
we
goes
don't
back
see
to
the
money.
baby. Yeah, it always goes back to money. We don't see the baby getting cut open for its fucking kidney. Because I promise you, if that
Thank
shit
you.
was on every single news channel, you would not fucking agree with abortion.
But they can't put abortions and how it's all for money on the news channels because those people are getting paid. They're all part of, in my
Yeah,
opinion, it's
100%.
all it's been about breaking down the United States family structure and family morals and our education in the 70s. You don't need public education, okay? Is what you need. So you need a college education. States, you want to start building up some community colleges and you just want to hire some third grade, some degenerate teachers to teach these people, because most of these people are going to drop out in those 2 years, and then those people that drop out in the 2 years, they're going to be paying us a lot more. And then you got the people that are going to go there for the 4 years. It's the PhDs we got to watch out for. So we want to buy those PhDs. We want to discredit all those PhDs that talk out against us, and that's going to be easy to do because here's a roadmap and here's the plan on how we do it. And you got really important. It's like you got Jeff Bezos, right? So Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. How many motherfuckers are actually in that guy's conversation? Almost, I don't know anyone. I don't see any of those people on the news that are in Jeff Bezos' conversations. I don't see anyone. I just seen something today about Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates talking about mining minerals for electric cars, for the metals that electric cars use, so they can sell those metals to the folks that are building electric cars. I just read that today. So my point is, who the fuck knows what anyone talks about, but we can see what's happening now based on what started in the 70s. When did Nixon get kicked out of office for spying on his his opponent.
Oh yeah, Nixon, the guy who got us off the gold standard. That
Right.
motherfucker. That
But what
temporary order.
what year was he?
I
Like
don't
when
know.
did
I
he
have
get
to
kicked out?
Google it.
So
He.
it's so like with that is what I'm saying is since the 70s, and for some reason the 70s is when like the hippie movement was, right? So you got the hippies in the 70s. You got not Operation Climax. What the fuck was that shit called? Where the CIA would give drugs to like governors and senators to get them people to like
1961 is when he
spill
got
their
kicked out.
guts. And god damn,
What conspiracy?
Climax?
What?
I don't know. It was where the CIA and they were drugging governors and senators inside brothels to get them to discuss things or talk about something. Fuck, man, I forgot. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The 70s is when shit started happening, and we're seeing the consequences of it like decades ago, and now we're really seeing it. You got, and I have nothing against gay people. I have nothing against transgender people. I have nothing against lesbians. I have nothing against anyone. Unless you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, pieces of shit. And even if you're from a different culture and you treat people differently because you're from a different culture, like, that doesn't make you a piece of shit. That just makes you from a different culture that I don't understand. And the best way that we can understand each other is with education, right? You need an education to understand things. You have to. With the oh fuck, I was on it. Bro, I hear myself in your mic.
My bad. Keep going.
The fuck. 1 second. I got it. It's coming back. In order to do things, so you were saying like about Planned Parenthood and how they chop up babies late
It's
trimester
eugenics. They chop
with
up black
with
babies. That's what
eugenics.
they do.
So you're saying they chop up black babies with eugenics late trimester. The reason that's not really put out on the television is because there's
Bought and paid
people
for.
that get paid a lot of money to shut the fuck up and to not talk about it and to help discredit as soon as it happens. There was a federal judge whose family got shot and one of her family members got murdered that was trying Giselle Maxwell. And that wasn't reported. A federal judge, well, there's an attempted assassination on her, and nobody talked about that. That's very fucking strange. You got this giant sex trafficking ring that is so close to being unveiled and unmasked, and people are so close to being
I want to
pulled
know.
from their homes and fucking arrested or shot. And it's also so close to being fucking silenced. And that's because our education and our population is being demasculated, and it's being silenced. You remove people's education levels at the basic mainstream, right? So you have a large majority of the population which goes through public education. Education sucks. That's like one of the only things that hasn't changed since the early 1900s. Then you have community college, which like you're going back for a basic education. You're going for your AA, which is a basic ed, and then you have to pay a fuck ton of money for that, and then you have to apply for a college to go to, and some colleges will accept you, some colleges won't accept you, and then like it's all emotional and it takes a lot of work and time and shit. My point is, we should be getting the college education from kindergarten to high school. And then if you want to go for a trade craft, you go for a trade craft so you can apply for trade, not basic education that we all should be knowing right now. Like specialty trade schools are what makes the real money, as well as coding. Like that's just my thoughts on it. That's how I feel. And since people don't enjoy high school or middle school and the dropout rates are really high and clearly our education levels are pretty low, you have you have even less people paying attention to our politicians because society says don't pay attention to politicians or politics until months before voting when propaganda can hit you. And that's the way that we've been programmed and emotionally stimulated with television. And with television, which is owned by Hollywood and all the scandals and crazy crap that goes on in Hollywood that people talk about, but then we're shunned away from for like it's so fucking weird. And with Hollywood programming us to be more emotional instead of logical, like men aren't allowed to be logical, women aren't allowed to be logical. The only thing that's logical is illogic. And it's just we're going backwards, I feel, in intelligence. And even with the amount of information that we have, it's an overstimulation because we aren't, in my opinion, we aren't trained, we aren't taught. And Landon, are you sleeping?
Dog, I knocked out, dude.
Are you
It's
done?
dark in here, bro. Dude. No, you're soothing me to sleep right now.
You're full of
Your
shit.
voice. No, dude, your voice put me to sleep, dude. I need you to put me to sleep tonight, dog.
I'll put you to sleep. Put you to sleep real good. Mm-hmm. Oh
No, dude,
yeah.
it's something about your rambling that just
Oh yeah.
you'd be a great college professor, man.
The college professor that knocks you out and flunks you in.
So yeah, just to basically summarize my opinion, it's being overly used on one race intentionally. It's all about money. The the harvesting that's coming from it is it's at the Nazi level. We all just pretend it's not. And then the moral side of it, once you start talking about something isn't what it is, if you're gonna be killing a baby when it's, I don't care, 3 months old, say you're killing the baby. Don't use words. Don't try to mince around it. Say you're gonna kill it, because that's what you're doing. Because that's what it's gonna feel like anyways. When that baby gets injected and stirred up and turned into a milkshake and sucked out with a vacuum and poked and prodded and cut apart, it's
They
gonna
don't
feel
suck
it.
the babies out like a vacuum. They sometimes, in the report that those guys made where they do abortions, when they're doing the live abortion, when the baby's at like one of the terms, like term 3, I'm a fucking idiot. So if I'm using the wrong words, I apologize. Like, but
First trimester, second trimester, third trimester.
they'll cut the baby's arms off while it's still in the uterus, and the mom's knocked out, and they'll cut the arms off while it's in there, and they'll pull them out. And like they do shit with stem cell research. Like they will literally chop the baby up while it's alive, still attached to the fucking umbilical cord sometimes. Like this came in the report that was in that big giant lawsuit. Like it is, Planned Parenthood is full of shitty people, and it's owned by a shitty woman who's a piece of shit that doesn't like black people. She stated, was it Senate or Congress or some shit, when she was like talking shit
I
about
mean,
black people? Like, it's pretty fucking
she
gross.
was she was open. If you actually get into it, Planned Parenthood was like designed to cull the black race. Like that's literally what Planned Parenthood started off at. They're doing fantastic at that mission. I mean, they're just nailing the fucking mark every fucking time. Whatever McDonald's got to sell 1 million fries in a year. Well, they're good at doing at least 1 million abortions for black people. And you can see in the new census that black population is actually going down. Um, in a growing population sense, that makes no sense. You're not supposed to be going down. Minorities are supposed to be gaining. And so if you're a minority and you're losing people, that's a fucking problem. You shouldn't be okay with that. And you should really dig into the root causes of it.
Well, our whole population is going to collapse soon, right? That's what people are saying, right? Really smart people.
Yeah,
The World
depopulation.
Wildlife Foundation,
Elon Musk. Yeah.
has put the human race on the endangered species list, I think, for the last 10 years. Sterilization, not what's the right word for it? It's miscarriages, or between abortions, miscarriage, not being able to carry to term and have a baby is going up, and infertility is going down. And with the combined mix of the two,
No, infertility is going up. You
our
said it was going
infertility
down.
is going up. Yep. Fertility is going down, infertility is going up, and the ability to carry a baby to full term and have a baby that lives through birth is going down. So human beings at a whole, we're going extinct. And it's because we can't produce offspring. We can't produce healthy offspring on top of that. And
We should probably stop
baby.
doing abortions. We should probably stop doing abortions then.
Well, the thing
Hear me
is,
out.
there's a money wheel on that, and they're
Mm.
making money off of abortion, so you can't stop that. Just like this needle that has a supposed vaccine that doesn't really work for this man-made virus.
They got to recoup their
There's
largest criminal fine in history. They're trying to recoup the money they lost from that fine.
this is just a new money wheel, man.
Yeah, it
The amount
is.
of money that they're going to be making off of this for the next 5-10 years, it's absurd. And then they're gonna whatever the conspiracies are, we're on track with family law and
So men are being
abortions.
destroyed. Their rights are being taken. Family law
Emasculated. Men are being
being
emasculated.
demasculated. Men are being told that feminine qualities that they present are more empowering, so they do, and they produce more feminine qualities. Um, and it wreaks havoc on society. And then females become aggressive, which females should never be aggressive. And it kind of goes back to Universe 25. When females get turned into something that they're not, males get turned into something that they're not, it ends up in destruction. Yeah, you eat your food. You eat
I
that food
can't
and you take it.
I just can't buy that because
Universe
there is
25, dude.
no
Read it.
drugs in that Universe 25
Read
study.
it. I don't
There's
give a shit about.
there's
Who
no
gives a shit
drugs.
about drugs? The
There's
drugs
no
probably
drugs.
make it worse. The drugs make it worse.
Drugs make it better.
Make it better to the end
Drugs make it better
when
all the time.
make it better to the end when the population collapses because men forget their traditional roles and females forget their traditional roles.
Men don't forget their roles from being on drugs. Psychedelic drugs allow you to listen to your sexual partner or to your woman. Me, I used to have a big ego, and I did mushrooms, and I lost that ego. I'm a really open person now. Really open. Like, I listen to people, and especially when I'm high on like a microdose, like a really small dose of like psilocybin mushrooms, I like I can hear what my girlfriend's saying. I actually know what she's saying. I can listen in a different way that I normally can't. Like, it's really cool. And marijuana helps people with PTSD. You can't tell me it doesn't. It helps a lot. High CBD content of marijuana with low THC helps a lot. I would be a cranky, angry ass motherfucker if I didn't have coffee. Them's drugs, sir. Them is drugs.
So my final position is because humans can't morally slip into this almost Nazi eugenics program that is aimed towards the black race, I cannot go along with abortion. And that's kind of my final position on it. It
I
has to
respect
be,
that. Totally
you know.
respect that. Like, it's fucking disgusting. My whole
It
thing
it
is
yeah.
with so like my kiddo got taken from me, and I didn't choose to leave him. I didn't want to leave him. He was taken from me. And I'm with this girl now who's like, honestly, the best relationship I've ever been in. I've been in an insane amount of unhealthy relationships, like a bunch of unhealthy relationships, both bitches be crazy relationships, and I'm a crazy ass fucking dumb stupid dude relationships. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I've been on both ends. My fault, their fault, and then my fault for not knowing the red flags to know that I ain't get the fuck out, which still makes it my fault. And then same with the females. Them not having the experience to know that I got red flags shown right now. They need to get the fuck out. And we all go through that. It's part of the learning experience. That's how we get to become who we are, is by learning through failures and not being taught shit, which goes back to education of what our parents are supposed to teach us. And then that boomer generation being told that the government's going to teach everyone and the state-ran television's going to teach everyone. The state-ran being Hollywood. This was America's thing. And it fucking failed miserably. Look at the state of our fucking country today. We're not better than what we were 30 years ago as a family-run society or a morally ran society or a fucking...
stagnant wages. Keeping us... Yeah, dude.
Taxes.
Stagnant freaking...
High tax rate.
Going
which
up.
Now increases. We don't need higher minimum wage. We don't need the government to tell us what the fuck to do. There's a government saying, here is the bare basic minimum you need to fucking pay people for them to live based on the cost of milk, the cost of eggs, and the cost of living for your fucking paying rent. That's it. The cost of rent in Idaho, the Treasure Valley with right over 1 million fucking people, is almost the same price as LA, Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon. The amount of private companies that are purchasing up the amount of property for sale all across the fucking country has skyrocketed. Land prices. It is so high. It is... We are at war with ourselves, and this is a new type of war that has never been fought on the face of this planet before. We are in the middle of a civil war. And for those of you that don't see it yet, you are about to see it in the next few years. We all have been put into these separate little boxes, and now we are our own opponents, fighting each other while the powers that be are taking resources that are required for us to self-sustain ourselves. We are soon going to be reliant on certain powers to live comfortably. And
Universe 25.
Universe 25. The man's been talking about it all night. I know you guys on Podbean Live have not been able to hear him because of my fuck up, which I apologize for. We will try to get that fixed for the future. But Universe 25, you want to check that out? Where can they find that link or like something about it?
Oh, it's all over the place. It's
Google Universe 25.
Yeah, the YouTube's got a video on it. There's a couple.
So just check out Universe 25, because apparently that's the paradox that we're in right now is Universe 25, and there's no escaping it. We're there, we're here, and we are fucked. But it starts with our kids, man. So like, there's still a way we can change our future, even though our current situation is fucked. We can teach our kids to be open-minded. We can teach our kids education, and we can teach them now. You can teach them at home because obviously the schools aren't going to fucking do that. So it's your job as a parent to give them that extracurricular activity of teaching them. And you need to teach them in a way that they understand. They're your kids, so you need to understand them. It's not their job to make you understand who they are. It's your job to build a fucking successful future for that child. That child is your genes, and that's the whole reason I built my business was for my unborn kiddo. I did not want to grow up in poverty, which is why I'm cool paying $500 a month for for some stupid bitch to fucking keep my kid away from me, because I know that somehow that's going to help my child, because that's the way that I'm programmed, is child support, $500, pay it for your kid. If you don't, you're a piece of shit, because that means you don't love your kid. That's what they say, and that's how it's ingrained. You know what I'm saying? So I do it because I love my child. And I know that $500, if that stupid bitch was really in a bad position, that $500 would really help. But she's in a great position. For those of you that know what happened to my business back in the day in 2019, you guys know what the fuck happened, okay? She's in a great position, a phenomenal position. And my son is very well taken care of because of me. So, Zay, I love you. And I really do hope you're happy and good. And I do really hope that I wish I can reach out to you and actually talk to you and spend time with you and stuff, man. It'd be really cool. But sometime in the future, we will. And if you're watching this in the future, that's really cool. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, son. But with that being said, the only way we're going to get through the hard times in the future is by making sure that our children understand how to take care of one another. It's our understanding politics, understanding engineering, coding, and humanity, staying human. There's things coming out here in, like, I think the next 15, 20 years where we're going to have chips planted in our brains, like Neuralink and some other stuff. And I'm going to have a future podcast on that a little bit more, breaking down what Elon Musk is talking about and possibly what other businesses are going to be introducing with it, like Facebook's new metaverse. And these programs, you have to watch out for the companies that represent them, because there's certain companies where people want world domination forever, and other people where they just want more productive humans forever. And then there's people that just want, like, naturality, where we succeed on our own without the benefit of technology.
Amish
And,
people.
yeah, the Amish. And there's a lot of scary shit coming, a lot of weird things coming. And the most important thing is, that's not 500 total for that. That's between DHS and your employer. If you have one, that's 250 for her and 250 for DHS for being the middleman. Well, I don't know. I was just told to pay $500, and that's what I pay. And she even said something like she doesn't get the full amount, but that's fucking wild. DHS gets $250. Is what this guy's saying. That's fucking absolutely fucking batshit crazy.
50%? That's fucking robbery.
That's the health. That's what I'm talking about. So, like, let's say, so I have someone on my Podbean Live who's commenting, because I pay 500. It's like 480 plus the credit card fee. So I pay like $500 a month for child support. He's saying she's probably getting 250, and then Department of Human Services is getting the other 250 for being the middleman. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all a crook.
It's like a transaction handle. That should be like cents on. That should be like a penny or two.
But that's what happens when we have state-run welfare. Like, it's when the state and the government gets all up in your business, they need more employees to manage. And those employees that get first picked are the people's best friends writing the fucking laws. And those best friends get the easy job that welfare pays for. Our tax dollars pay for these people just to take our fucking money and write new laws on how to take our fucking money. That's why people say government-ran industry runs you to the ground, where capitalism and most Republican, because you have Democrats and you have Republicans. Democrats were formed on slavery. Republicans were formed on racism, or not racism, but like business, free business with less government.
I'm going to stop you right there, buddy. The Republicans were the first abolitionists.
Abolitionist. Okay, correct me. What's an abolitionist?
Somebody who wanted to abolish slavery.
Right.
The Republican Party
myself. I corrected myself.
And the Democrat Party was all about, was like the plantation owners. Those were the Democrats.
So the Democrats were plantation owners, the racists, and then Republicans were the ones that were like, no racism, like, just make them free.
No, abolish slavery. Like it started with abolish slavery party. It was like the abolitionist movement. That's what the party was all about. Freeing the slaves.
And then it went to like free enterprise, like business, because most Republicans are
hmm
business owners.
hmm And when it flipped in the South, it didn't really flip. So when the South flipped, the counties that were blue um, did turn red, but there was the main counties that were centered around. Guess what? Large Democratic plantation style is still Democratic till today. If there was cotton fields back in the day in those counties that are now still, cotton heavy, those counties are still fucking Democratic. Yeah, they've kept black people in the population plantation for too long.
It's all fucked. So the
It's
Democrats now
fucked.
enslave us with taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you also enslave. So debt, that's
Yep.
what they've done. That's the debt enslavement. And then they enslave you with the taxes.
Well,
And when
the
they can do those
boomers,
two things, they take away your guns because, they don't want you to fight back against that.
nope. And
So they're
once
taking away the ammo right now. That's what Biden's doing. He's bottlenecking the ammo.
he's Biden's bottlenecking the ammo. What do you mean?
Yeah, the importation of ammo has been banned. He's banned like a shit ton of
What do you mean the implementation of ammo?
importation. Importation.
Importation. So from
So
state to state?
no, from other countries to us.
Huh. Well,
So
we
people who
manufacture like Pullman, Idaho manufactures a
yeah,
fuck
but
ton of
it's
ammo.
not enough. It's not enough. We have to import more. You know how much cheap 7.62 Russian ammo you can get?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, you can't get that anymore.
Really?
You got to buy the expensive stuff now.
Huh.
Get one. I mean, just look it up. Look at all the calibers that have been banned.
Well,
It's It's a slow choke. That's what he's doing. That's why it's a slow choke. Did you do not notice the vaccines? It's a slow choke. They're getting people who are above you vaccinated, and then those people are like, "Well, I'm vaccinated." So that's what my boss said today. Well, I got to get vaccinated. So why aren't they vaccinated? If they're not vaccinated. They got to get vaccinated if I'm vaccinated. And I'm like,
shit rolls
that's
downhill.
how they. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're doing shit roll downhill, and that's how they want to do it. They want to do it from the top down. So you know what you got to do? Fight from the bottom up, and that's what literally we're gonna get down to. I think that's what they're forcing.
Uh
I
huh.
think that's what they want to force a fight from the
Well,
bottom up.
The state of Idaho already said we're not gonna enforce the federal government's wartime bullshit. Like we're not gonna force employers to vaccine their employees. There is nothing that says that needs to happen in the Constitution and the legislation. It's the people's choice, and um, that's why I was saying earlier today. Brad Little put out a statement saying uh, Mississippi did the same thing as what he's saying is they're not enforcing it. And so it goes back to the states. So I believe there's going to be about 20 states that stand up and say we're not going to do this shit, and that's going to put us in a civil war. That's the beginning. The very beginning of the Civil War is Idaho, or not Idaho, but Portland, Oregon, saying they were no longer going to commerce or allow travel to the state of Texas. And if that happens, those businesses are no longer going to be able to communicate with each other. You get rid of commerce and you get rid of travel, then that builds animosity because sports, once you get rid of sports, just like we've seen during the pandemic, people get fucking violent and they get easily manipulated by what's on the television and what's told to them because they are used to conflict. And sports in America ease conflict and allow commerce so easily by having sports athletes and people behind those sports athletes, which are supposed to be leaders. People are supposed to be led to fight. And we have someone leading and fighting for us where we can discuss among each other sports statistics instead of laws and legislation, which is what kind of sucks with when it comes to like capitalism and entertainment is there's a give and take, and there's just so little people that discuss politics with their children and within themselves And then you have this universe of fucking social media that's allowed us to be even more divisive and angry at each other instead of cooperating and learning and educating each other. It's just there's so much shit going on, man, and there's so many fundamentals that are missing in our country and in this society and the Western generation that the powers that be have the upper hand, and the little man like you and me and the several millions of others, the 80 million unvaccinated or some shit. It all goes back to our governors, and it starts with our governors, and we get to see who our governors are. And I've already put out a statement that if my governor needs help because the Fed is going to be attacking the state of Idaho, I'm gonna defend my state and my state's rights, my people, and
I pull up.
yeah, no, like
I pull up.
I'll pull up to the National Guard and
I
I'm
pull
enlisted,
up.
and the National Guard
I
will take
pull
me
up.
because we're here to defend our state. You feel what I'm saying? So if it comes down to it, defend your state for your cause. Don't be violent.
pull up.
I'm not saying it's going to be a civilian revolution. This is going to conflict.
Tree line diplomacy, boys.
Worst case scenario, we're here for our children and our children's futures. So whatever you believe your children's future are, if you believe everyone needs to be vaccinated and you'll fight to the death to vaccinate people, go join the Marine Corps, because the Marines are here to defend the United States against foreign and domestic. If you believe your state's right, if you believe your state's right, and you don't want people to be forced to vaccinate because you don't believe in the vaccine, and you believe in your state or a different state's cause in people's freedom of choice to vaccine and abortion or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Vaccine's like the most important. Abortion's like the second, in my opinion, because right now, vaccine, we don't know what is going to happen in the future. With abortion, we just know some idiot had unprotected sex and now they don't want a kid. They're fucking idiots. Right? They are fucking idiots. But if they got raped and now they're carrying some piece of shit seed from some piece of shit, not saying that seed's a piece of shit because, like, who the fuck, you know, it's just cum. But
that, like,
that piece of
excusable
shit,
1%, you know?
I mean, people get raped.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It
That's like
fucking happens.
if you have an excuse for an abortion, that's one of them. Like, if you have an excuse, that's probably one of them.
That person that got raped, if, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have your back, man. Your choice. Even you women that are
like,
fucking,
oh, how dare you? And be like, well, I mean,
that have unprotected sex, and if it's like you're drunk and you had unprotected sex, and like, oops, like, you shouldn't be drunk if you can't make responsible choices when you're drunk. You probably shouldn't drink anymore. You know what I'm saying? But that's your shit. You're dumb. You made a dumb decision. But like, with the vaccine,
you shouldn't ruin your next 18 years. No, it'd probably make your next 18 years because raising children makes you more responsible. And when you're more responsible,
it's incredible.
You have an easier life.
I built my own business because of my kid. Like, he wasn't even born yet, and I built my business. So like, having kids is cool, man. But like, when it comes to, hey, Landon, you're in the chat. But when it comes to, you can join the chat, motherfucker. Why don't you get in the fucking chat?
Oh. I got to press button. Anyways, I've got to go. It's 12:05. I've got to get some sleep for work tomorrow. Starts in like less than 6 hours now.
All right, brother. Love you, man. It was fun.
Love you, man.
Have a great night, bro.
You too.
Bye. You know, but that's my thing. Like, if you believe in the federal government, go join the Marine Corps. Because the Marine Corps is going to be fighting the National Guard when whatever president in the future says you have to do this now, or we're gonna go invade you, and we're gonna remove your standing governor, and we're gonna replace them with a governor that we see fit. And that's gonna cause a huge conflict. The state of Texas ain't gonna put up with that shit. The state of Texas has marshals and their police, and then all the veterans and the special forces that live there. Like, that's our leaders. That's our leaders in the state of Texas. So for anyone that's hearing this, like, don't be a dummy and don't go out and shoot up people and be stupid. Like, I'm really afraid that my voice is going to vocalize that. I'm just saying, be prepared for a worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is our children getting hurt and our children losing their fucking futures. And when it comes down to our children having futures, I'll fight for that. And it starts with discussion and it ends in conflict in a worst case scenario. And the best thing that we can do is come to terms on grounds and agree that nobody wants to fight and no one wants to fight against our brothers and sisters from different states that have two different viewpoints on such a stupid, retarded fucking cause of vaccine mandates. Nobody wants that. But, brother, you're not the only one. We're here in Idaho, and we agree with you guys out in Mississippi. So just stay true and just pay attention to what's going on. And our governor just shot down the president, but they did come to terms with like the wildfires, because the wildfires right now in the Northwest are fucking crazy. So they at least came to terms on fixing that. But I'm gonna end the podcast right now. Landon just took off, so I hope you guys have a great fucking night. Just pay attention to what's going on, and we don't know what the vaccine is gonna do in 5 years. And in my opinion, people are gonna get sick. I had the chicken pox when I was a little kid, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna get the measles, and we don't know what the vaccine is gonna do to our children in 5 or 10 years. We don't know what it's gonna do to their offspring. These people are getting paid a fuck ton of money to get real life data on what the very first public, worldwide endorsed mRNA gene therapy does to the human body and the human DNA, both to you and to the next 6 generations of offspring of folks that get the shot. I'm not gonna get a free beer and $100 for taking this fucking shot. I'm not gonna take it. Let me know what you guys do. Are you taking it or are you not taking it? Let me hear your thoughts. Hit me up on the Instagram at JustYourAverageCitizen with the _ at the end of it. You guys know the logo. It's me holding that dick of a microphone right in my hands. Have a beautiful night, everyone. Much love. Be safe. Stay healthy.